Okay. So if we are adding fractions, and if the denominators are the same, in a fraction like this, what's our denominator?
2.
2. So what's our numerator?
1.
Okay. So it's the bottom is denominator, top is numerator. So it says if you're adding fractions, so for example, if we had 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2, we are allowed to add these if and only if
The
denominators
is the same.
are the same.
Yeah.
Right? So the denominator would stay the same. And what would our top numerator be?
2.
2.
So it'd be
So
1
we just
whole.
add. So it'd be 1, we'll label it whole. Good. So if we had, in our example, it was 3 halves, what's another way we could write that? If we wanted to break it up into 2 addition fractions.
2.
For example, what if we
2,
had
2, and 2, 1.
Okay. So we do, you said 2, 2 plus
2
1
half.
1 half would equal 3. What do we say with 2?
I forgot.
You said it.
Half.
3 halves. And so, can you step down for a second here? Let's look at example 2. And if you wanted to see this as a picture, if we did a pie and we cut it into halves, then we added another pie and we cut it into halves, what would that color in? How many halves we're coloring in for 3 halves? Okay, and then that would equal And so how your homework was saying it was that we call this 3. What is the 3?
Numerator.
The numerator. But what is that in words? 3 parts. Do you remember that?
No.
It was the 3 parts that were
C.
counting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you remember?
Yes. Counting.
So we're saying this means 3 parts that we are counting. So that is all the ones that are either that you're looking for. So right now we're saying shaded in. If we said how many are left, we would say how many parts?
1.
1 part. So it depends on what you're asking for in the question. So then our 2 was, what did our 2 equal? The denominator.
Yeah.
And then what was that? If we're talking
The whole.
the whole, right? So this was the whole part. So, 2 halves. Now, example 2, what if I gave you 3, what would you say that? How would you say that fraction?
3/4.
3/4 plus, let's say 1/4. It's easy.
Equals a whole or 4/4.
Okay. So 4/4 or 1 whole. Good. Now, I don't think you've learned this, but can I try? Because you're pretty smart. I'm going to try and trick you. What if we did 1/2 plus 2/4?
That doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Why?
That.
Because
They have to be the same.
the what have to be the same?
Denominator.
Denominators. So is there a way that we can make the denominators the same here?
You could split that one in half.
Okay. Perfect. So what if we did that? We would have 1/2 plus
1/2
1/2 plus
1/2
1/2
equals
equals, let's see if that works.
doesn't work.
Doesn't work, right? So, is there another way you could think? That was a good idea to split this in half. 2/4.
I don't know.
If we had, and this is where it'll make sense. If we had a pie and we divided it into a half, and then we added it to another pie that was the same size, but this pie was divided into fourths. Okay? This side had 1/2 eaten. This pie had 1/2 over the 4 halves eaten.
That'd be the same.
Are they the same?
Yeah.
Perfect. So if those are the same, how could we also write this?
1/2 plus 1/2.
Plus 1/2. And then what would it equal?
2 halves of a whole.
So 2/2 or 1 whole. What do we say, pi?
Yeah.
Alright. Does that make sense now, kind of? When you see it with
Yes.
the visuals? With the pies? Alright. Any other questions?
No.
Or should we take a look at your work?
Yeah.
Alright.